Welcome to Inside JCCC. My name is Joe Sopcich and I'm the president here of Johnson County Community College. Inside JCCC provides you with a behind-the-scenes look into what goes on in one of our over 20 buildings that we have on 234 acres here on our campus. But what's really important is what goes on behind those walls. Our faculty and staff put on the best programs possible that will ensure success for our students and help them in the classroom and beyond. So sit back and enjoy, and welcome to Inside JCCC.
Welcome to Johnson County Community College. I'm Sarah and I'm a student here at JCCC. This edition of Inside JCCC takes you through one of the prettiest buildings on campus, the Horticultural Science Center. You'll find it abbreviated as HSC on campus maps. The Horticultural Science Center is located on campus near a restored windmill and a wood pig barn that dates back to the 1870s. The building itself has the look of a bygone era, but behind that facade are 3 greenhouses with computerized climate controls, a plant propagation room with a laminar flow hood that has an airflow system to purify air for plant propagation by tissue culture, a head house with 6-foot-tall floral refrigerators, and a head house outfitted with large work tables where students enrolled in a horticultural sciences program prepare planting media to pot plants for various lab exercises. More than half the building is greenhouse space zoned with independent lighting and temperature controls. While the greenhouse covering looks like glass, it's actually a clear thermoplastic, which offers insulation and resistance to air and allows an even transmission of light. Shade cloths control heat gain in summer and heat loss in winter. There's no air conditioning. Instead, an evaporative cooling system is used to retain humidity. When heat is required, electric fans distribute warm air. For integrated pest management, an insect barrier screen was added to the east side of the greenhouse. Inside the greenhouse, benches are designated as lab space for various courses offered through the Horticultural Sciences program. There are also benches for stock plants that are used by horticulture students to practice various propagation techniques, by Floral Design students to grow indoor plants, and for sustainable agriculture students to grow seedlings, as well as a mist bench for the propagation of select species. In our commitment to sustainability, rainwater is reclaimed and routed to a 10,000-gallon underground cistern through the sculpted sunflowers on the front of the building, which act as drain spouts to route water from the roof, along a trough, through the front gateway's 2 limestone columns, and into the cistern. The windmill is again functional to irrigate the outside gardens. The building houses 3 programs at JCCC: Horticultural Sciences, Floral Design, and Sustainable Agriculture.
I'm Lekha. I'm the chair and associate professor of the Department of Horticultural Sciences here at Johnson County Community College. The program was initiated in 2006-2007. Of course, the building and the greenhouse were built in 2001. So the building and the greenhouse came before the program, and the Kansas Board of Regents approved the 2 certificates we offer and the Associates in Applied Horticultural Sciences in 2007. So it's a new program. It's about 7-year-old program. Other programs in this area, we are unique actually. We're the only horticultural sciences program in this area, meaning Greater Kansas City area and Douglas County. There are no other horticultural sciences program in this region. As for students who enter our program, we have traditional students, we have non-traditional students, we have students looking to further their career, we have students with a 4-year degree, transferring here from KU or K-State. We have students looking to just take a few classes with us. We have students looking to transfer to K-State or later program. So our student population is really very diverse. We have all kinds of students, and that's a fun, because we get to interact with each and every one of these students who are here for a different reason. As for students in the program, our numbers are going up every semester. We have in fall, we had about 187 students enrolled in various classes. This spring we had 146 plus students enrolled in various classes, and we do not offer that many classes in summer. It's because then they can work all through the summer That means they'll make more money, and that really helps retention in the program. But our enrollment numbers are steadily going up, but not all of these students declare horticulture as a major. There are students who just come in and take a couple of classes. To meet the requirements of all these students coming in, we offer face-to-face classes, we offer hybrid classes where lecture notes are posted online, and they come in just for the labs, just once a week. We also offer online classes. So we offer different formats. As for the curriculum, our students are taught to grow healthy crops, to grow essential plants, to design and manage sustainable landscapes, to manage golf courses, to manage arboretums, botanical gardens, community gardens, small gardens, and of course our curriculum focuses on the best management practices, which includes integrated pest management. We offer 19 different courses in various specializations within horticulture. Our 19 courses actually cater to all these different specializations in the industry. As you know, the horticulture industry is very broad, very diverse. So, our students are trained in different aspects of this ornamental horticulture industry. So we are more geared towards ornamental horticulture and environmental horticulture. As for the greenhouse, this is basically the lab for our students. As you can see, there are 3 zones in this greenhouse. Zone 1 is where all classes that require a bench, that have labs attached to the classes. And keep in mind, of the 19 courses we offer, 18 of them have a lab component to it. So that's a hands-on learning experience for our students. So in Zone 1, we have benches assigned for various classes. So students, since we use the same textbook and lab manual as K-State does, students have lab spaces. They do experiments. They write lab reports. So each class gets a designated bench with a color-coded label. So, students learn to design experiments. They learn how to collect data, interpret data. So that's what Zone 1 is all about. It's absolutely, just for classroom use. All classes that that have a lab component gets bench space in the greenhouse. And Zone 2 is where we grow stock plants for various classes as well. So students get to practice their propagation techniques. For example, in plant propagation class, we teach everything from grafting, layering, to even plant tissue culture. You see, so Zone 2 is where we grow all the plants required for various classes. And Zone 3 is actually a propagation room where we have a mist bench with an electronic leaf. So certain species which are very hard to root, you can use the mist bench for propagation. So this greenhouse is entirely used for classroom teaching purposes. As for the Hort Club, they're called the Horticultural Sciences Students Association. They actually are very active. They were formed in 2007. The Student Senate gave us some starting money, about $1,500. And since then, they have had a yearly plant sale. So every year they have the spring sale for sure. That's a done deal, April and May. And they invite JCCC folks to come and buy their plants. And as you can see, all the plants now in Zone 1, that bench, is completely Hort Club plants. And usually we start around mid-March because that's when they have some bench space available. Because otherwise classes use up the whole space, you see. So they have learned to use whatever space is left over from class use, and then they grow everything from scratch, and they enjoy the feeling of getting together, interacting, learning from each other, and just selling their plants and contributing to the Hort Scholarship Fund. As for faculty for this program, I'm the only full-time faculty member for this program. I was hired in fall 2006 to lead the program, to develop the program and market the program. And of course, we have 13 of the finest adjunct faculty members teaching for the program. They come from the local green industry, CEOs of local companies, and also from K-State. And we all bring our unique strengths and expertise. And our students are the best. And of course, we have an excellent greenhouse manager as well. So it's a very nice, cohesive team. We all work really well together. So full-time adjunct staff. We also have work-study students in the greenhouse. They contribute significantly as well. We work so well together, and that's why this program is so successful. As for the Horticultural Sciences Advisory Board, their job is to advise us on curriculum. And the advisory board consists of members from the local green industry, Kansas State University, and of course, me and some of our adjunct faculty members as well. If we did not seek the advice of our advisory board, our students, when they graduate, they might not be able to find jobs. So it's extremely important we work with them, to get their advice and make sure our curriculum meets the needs of the industry, also meets the transfer guidelines for transfer to K-State University. Our advisory board members also sponsor our Horticultural Sciences Day, and of course, the sponsorship money helps us raise, scholarship money for the Hort students as well. And they're extremely helpful. They're involved in developing this program and marketing this program, and they are there if you need them. So that's so important for our transfer program. As for jobs in the industry, there is, it's important that students find their niche. We have jobs in greenhouse production, to nursery management, to a lot of, plenty of jobs in the landscape horticulture sector, of course, where it's landscape maintenance. And our curriculum is unique in that, in addition to the certificates we offer, students can also add, they can also add on a 7-hour business plan certificate. That really helps them start their own business. This industry is saturated with jobs, and according to some of my colleagues who work in the industry, there is a shortage of labor, meaning they're not able to find qualified students, students or graduates with good credentials. There are way more jobs than we have graduates for the jobs. And what is also interesting is the industry is looking for students who can lead a team. So yes, this is one industry where there's shortage of jobs, and the jobs are really well paid. But you really have to find your niche, and that's key to success. Since I was very young, I've always loved plants. So I might be the luckiest few maybe who get to follow my passion, who got to follow my passion. I get to work with plants every day. I get to work with plants. I have studied plants 16 years post high school. I've studied different aspects of plants, and there's so much more I do not know about plants. So I always tell my students, follow your heart, follow your passion, and if you do that, you will not feel, your career, bringing you down. So I'm able to come here, every morning, and I look forward to coming and working here because plants are my passion, you see. So it's important for my students to find that, that niche as well. Whatever makes them happy, they should be looking forward to going to work and then, feeling good about themselves and what they've achieved that day. You don't really have to count it, but look at the shoot-to-root ratio, something to sustain the shoot.
Hi, I'm Diana Ryan, and I am the Floral Design instructor here at Johnson County Community College. I teach the design classes, and we offer 6 classes in the program currently. I've been a florist for a long time, and when I went to school, we had limited classes, so when I started this program, I decided to teach the classes that I knew would be relevant to the real world. Students can complete the program, go out and know the flowers, know the terminology, know the skills necessary to work as a florist or open up their own business. We usually start off in the fall with the beginning courses, traditional and contemporary. The traditional, kind of what the name implies, symmetrical design. Contemporary is more asymmetrical, Asian, a little bit more unusual type of designs. And those are the basic courses that the students start off. And then it's a whole semester, 3 8-credit hours for each class. Then the spring semester, we go into the more advanced. The wedding flowers, the special events. And then I also offer a plants class, house plants. You learn how to grow house plants. And all of those are 3 credit hours. They do last the entire semester. So the student gets a really good broad knowledge of design and plant materials. We have a wide variety of students. We have students right out of college. We have students that I'm sick of the corporate world. I've got to do something right brain. I've done left brain my whole life. I need to be something creative. So we will get retired people. All across the gamut, we get women and men. And actually that makes for a great student classroom because you get some experience of the older people that have gardens. They've grown this stuff. So they can give us that knowledge about it. And then you have the young students with the energy and the enthusiasm. So it really creates a nice mix of having multi-generation, multi-cultures across the board. Johnson County Community College is unique that we have the only floral design department pretty much in the area. There's one in Columbia, one in St. Louis, Denver, but to get this kind of training, we're kind of all that they've got, especially in the state of Kansas. There is no other program. And a lot of people say, I always want to work in flower shops, I always want to work with flowers. They go to the florist, and the florist will not hire them without some kind of experience. It's like any trade, it's like any craft. You have to know certain skills, and they have no time to train. Our industry has built-in business throughout the year. It starts off with Valentine's Day. Easter, Administrative Assistance Day, Mother's Day, throw in weddings, special events, that sort of thing, then Thanksgiving, Christmas. So flower shops are busy throughout the year, and you'll notice that if you go to the grocery store. The flower shop is always right at the front and center because it looks pretty. People like it. It helps create an atmosphere in the store. So yeah, it's a good industry to be in. We use the greenhouse here on campus because of our houseplant class. We grow the houseplants. So students learn how to propagate, how to take care of plants. They learn all the names of them. They learn about pests, diseases. So once they leave the program, they're very confident in growing plants because they take these plants home and they get so excited because they come back and tell me, oh, my spider plant's this big, and they get, it's really a confidence booster. We also have foliages in the greenhouse that we trim on for our cut flower for our floral design classes. The leaves of a lot of plants, aspidistra, asparagus fern, spathiphyllum, all of those are leaves that we use in class, so we trim them and put them in our designs. We have an awesome facility here. Great classroom. We have tables that are the height that you need to design with. We have coolers to keep the flowers cool. Students process flowers every week, so by the time they're done, they know how to process flowers. And that's a big part of the business. The flowers come in a box. They've been out of water for probably 4 or 5 hours. Recut the stems, put them in the right temperature water with the right conditioning, and then they go into the cooler. And then they're ready to go for the lab that same week. So we deal with fresh flowers, and the flowers that they study are also the flowers they work with. And they learn about 75 plants and flowers per course per semester. So by the time they're done, they know a good 200 plus flowers and plants. Once they complete the program, my students that have applied for a job got a job. I probably have more jobs than I have students. I have a lot of shops now call me all the time. We need students for this. We need, some of your graduates, because there's always a constant demand. And as I said earlier, there's just not a training program around except for our program. So we're getting a little bit more well-known in the community, and prospects are very good. They can either go to work for a flower shop or start their own business. I always recommend work for somebody first so they get a little bit more experience. But I have had students that go out and start their own business as well. We also have a floral design club, and that's in addition to the classroom. What it is, it's additional experience for the students, and we design flowers for other programs on campus. They have luncheons, they have dinners, that sort of thing. And we also, throughout the year, will sell flowers to the overall campus. We start with Thanksgiving, and Christmas, Valentine's Day, Administrative Assistance Day, Easter, and Mother's Day. And that works really well because then the people on campus, they can order flowers online. The students have done it. It gives the students kind of that, this is what real life is about. You're going to do this times 20. You're going to make this design times 10. So it gives them a little taste of what it's like in the real world. And then the people on campus love it too because we're right here. If anyone were interested in pursuing a career in floral design, or they just wanted to try it out. In fact, I get a lot of students that thought, I kind of want to dabble in that. Let's see what that's about. So they start in it, and then they find out that they love it. So then they continue on, and they said, yeah, I think I will get that certificate. It's a great campus. We have the advantage being a little further away from the main campus that parking is not an issue, and that's kind of a big plus. So, and we've got a garden that we can pick from in the summertime as well. So I would encourage anyone, if you just kind of have an inkling, I've always wanted to do this, give it a try. Look us up under Floral Design. And we will actually fill it all the way to the top. It's compliant with MOP.
I'm Stu Schaefer. I'm professor of sociology and sustainable agriculture, and I chair the sustainable agriculture program here at JCCC. Sustainable agriculture is the growing of crops using agroecology principles and methods. It's not quite as rigorous as organic agriculture, although we use most of the same practices as organic. But we are allowed to use chemical or artificial inputs if necessary for economic or financial reasons. The Sustainable Agriculture program at JCCC uses those agroecology principles and methods to grow fruits and vegetables on our 2-acre campus farm, open petal farm. and we emphasize direct marketing of those fruits and vegetables. So the students get experience in marketing as well as growing the crops, and we sell our vegetables and fruits through a community-supported agriculture subscription program that delivers here on campus. We sell produce to the dining services on campus and the culinary program. And from time to time, when we have good production levels, we'll set up a table at the pastry sale over in the Culinary Center or perhaps other places on campus and sell our produce to campus community members as well. And we have a one-year certificate program that meets every semester. And the foundation course for the program and for the certificate is our Sustainable Agriculture Practicum. So we have a practicum in the fall, in the spring, and in the summer semester. So we get students hands-on experience on the campus farm doing the actual type of farming that we're emphasizing and that they would do in the real world when they go on. That's our core program. To introduce that, we offer a Principles of Sustainable Agriculture course, sometimes online. And then we give students other coursework in a variety of disciplines, including horticulture, where they can learn about soils and pest management, the hospitality management, where they learn safe handling of food and how to cook with the food that we produce, and entrepreneurship classes. Classes are offered every semester, fall, spring, and summer. The Sustainable Agriculture Practicum is offered each semester. The Principles of Sustainable Agriculture course is sometimes offered both semesters, sometimes fall, sometimes spring. The only course we usually offer in the summer is the Practicum course because of the time requirement for that. I'm the primary faculty member in the Sustainable Agriculture program. It's a new program, it's fairly small. We have a campus farm manager, Claire Zimmerman, who will also be teaching adjunct for us. And the other classes that are offered outside of the department are taught by either full-time or part-time faculty in those respective departments. So culinary sciences or hospitality management or horticulture classes are taught by faculty in those programs. We have at JCCC this wonderful Horticultural Sciences building that has a very nice state-of-the-art kind of greenhouse. So we teach our primary sustainable agriculture classes in that building and use the greenhouse. We have a composting facility on campus that composts dining services and culinary wastes, and we utilize that compost on our farm. We have our wash station and preparation area in the building that's housed in. And then we have the 2-acre open petal farm in the northwest corner of campus where we grow all of our produce. Open petal farm is a market-oriented vegetable and fruit production farm. So we're trying with that 2.5 acre farm to simulate what a small-scale farmer would be doing, often in a startup sort of market farm business, with the wide variety of vegetable and fruit crops that would be grown in that kind of operation. We don't grow grains, we don't grow soybeans other than edible sort of table type soybeans. The only grains and forage type crops we grow for what we call cover crops or green manure that are used for soil management and development. We do have many students who do go literally into the field, so they're out actually working on their own farms now. Some of them had family farms before they came through the program and wanted to learn a different type of agriculture to use on their family farms. Some of them are starting their own farms, whether they're rural or urban small-scale farms. And others are working in related areas. So we have people who work in advocacy organizations, people who work with children, early childhood or later education programs where children themselves learn how to grow gardens and food. We have people working in the agricultural supply industries, but they get the basic principles and ideas down, and that allows them to work in a wide variety of areas that are related to sustainable agriculture and sustainable vegetable and fruit production. I just saw a study or a report on a study from the U.S. Department of Agriculture that found that agricultural careers are the largest growth area for college, or the biggest opportunity for college graduates. So that's very encouraging. Yeah, the demand for new farmers as well as new people in all these support areas is really growing substantially throughout the country, and we see that around here as well. You do not have to major in sustainable agriculture to take any of our courses. So some of our students are majors in other areas, some are liberal arts majors, but in order to get the certificate you do have to declare the major in sustainable agriculture. But we're certainly available for students to take what they would like to learn from us and apply it in whatever setting, whether they're wanting a career in this particular area or not. All of the faculty who teach in the program, myself and faculty who teach in the other areas as well as our campus farm manager, are very active in our disciplines, and we maintain awareness of current research literature. We attend conferences, we do presentations sometimes at conferences, and we try to make ourselves aware of the latest developments in the area of sustainable agriculture and agroecology. My favorite part of this job is exactly that diversity of students and the wonderful people that I get to work with in teaching in this program. It's just so satisfying to go out into the farm field with students, show them how to do something, watch them do it themselves, watch their faces light up, and watch the deep level of satisfaction people have when they get their hands dirty, literally, and enjoy growing good, sustainable food.
JCCC's Horticultural Science Center is blossoming with well cared for plants and students. Come grow with us.